And we're recording. Great. Okay. Let's stand over by my friends. My new friends. Hi, new friends.
All right, so we're just going to do a little bit of processing here. So
Okay.
let's find out whether you met your intentions or not. So do you remember what your intentions were?
Yes, I wanted to have an experience, to just be open to the experience and to also challenge myself.
Okay.
So I picked a horse that I thought didn't like me, and I thought, well, this will be. I'll learn something more about myself if I try to relate to a horse that I don't think wants to relate to me. Yeah.
Okay, so by doing that, that helped you meet your intention?
Yes, because then also you expressed that you sort of illuminated the what I was projecting onto the horse, that the horse, interestingly, the horse has some physical issues, and I think you said the horse also has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, here's a horse that has his own problems. I'm sure he doesn't feel that hot. And there I was just thinking, well, this horse is just aloof and just doesn't like me. When the horse had his own issues, and as you say, his own agenda, and really wasn't doing anything that, he wasn't doing anything to snub me, but I felt like he was. But see, that's interesting, because that makes me think in terms of humans. When I decided, oh, this person doesn't like me and they're just ignoring me, and you're taking it, you tell me, well, did you know this horse has cancer and I think you said he was arthritic? And had he been in an accident?
Mm-hmm.
Though both those horses had been in accidents where people were killed.
Right.
And he had post-traumatic stress disorder. And isn't that amazing? I mean, that horse has been through hell, probably feels like hell, and that could often be the issue with somebody I think doesn't like me. So yes, very illuminating. Look at that. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, so you did meet your intention. You had
Yes.
an experience.
I had an experience.
And I helped you, and the horse helped you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna remember this, because next time, I think, well, this person, I'm gonna take that into consideration. Well, you don't know what's going on with that person, so don't project your insecurities. Well, I will continue to do that, of course, Kathy, because I'm out of my mind. But
But you'll try harder
I'll try harder
to remain open.
to remain open. Yes,
And maybe your first read is not a true one.
maybe not. Yeah. So interesting.
All right. So I met my intentions today because I was able to introduce you to the horses, and nobody got hurt, so I assume that you felt safe. And you obviously felt safe because you were able to interact and to most of the horses. But there was some point where you actually stopped.
Yeah.
Because you felt unsafe.
I did.
So you feeling safe, as opposed to me pushing the envelope, even though I knew the horses wouldn't necessarily kick you, I could have told you that it was fine, but that was not my objective.
Okay.
My objective was to help you feel safe.
Yes.
So my objective was to help you feel safe.
Yes.
And that's what I said my intention was, to help you feel safe. So because you were able to call and self-regulate your sense of fear and your distance of what was a safe distance for you, I was able to meet my intention. So you contributed to me meeting my intentions. The horses were completely available. These horses have free will. So they can completely leave at any time. They could have all ran down to the bottom of the hill and been at the far corner. I specifically fed them up here this morning, hoping that they would stick around, but I also asked them to stick around.
You did.
Yes, I told them you were coming, and I asked them to be available.
And even though they knew it was me, they stayed for a little while anyway.
But none of them were forced to stay here because none of them were locked up here. They have open gates. They could leave.
They could
Nobody
go anywhere they
had
want.
lead ropes on. They could walk away from you at any time. And I just want to reiterate about what is the relationship zone? Like, where are you when you're still in a relationship? How close do you need to be? I mean, can you be in a relationship with somebody in Singapore or in California when people go away? Are you still in that relationship with them? Or do you need to be in the same room with them? What are the degrees of relationship, and where is the safe zone?
Right.
A lot of times we project, but where is that energy field? And is it fair? Is it? I mean, does the other person have a say in the matter? Does the horse have a say in the matter? That's why we like to do this work where horses are not on lead ropes most of the time, or they're not locked into a small area, so they do have the opportunity to leave, and it's by choice that they get to be with us. And it was interesting how that horse did actually come up to you and hung out with you for a while. The same horse that you thought didn't like you and was aloof
Yep.
and didn't leave. Hung
Right.
out there for quite a long time.
That's true.
So I did meet my intentions for today.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
This was wonderful. Wonderful experience. I thank you. Thank you, horses.
So before we close off completely, why don't we just find out how you thought it was for the horses today? How do you think it was for them?
Well, I think they were, they were being very nice to me. They're very cordial and friendly, and I think they had a regular day. You know, it was nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
They're like, okay, she is a benign, non-threatening entity.
Okay.
And we Kathy said she was okay, and yeah, we can sense she is. So, I mean, she's just, this little lady. What's she gonna do? We could take her.
So they weren't worried about you?
No, not at all. Yeah, so, right?
Okay, so you realize what you just said was a complete projection, though, right?
Everything, I realize that.
Okay, so basically, you were not worried. Therefore, they were not worried.
I was.
You see?
Yes.
And that is a true statement, because the way that you were with the horses showed me that you were not worried. Get it?
Yes.
Yes.
So is that
So
at least one sign
if you
of
were
mental
different,
health?
they would be different.
If I would think so. That makes sense to me. If I came in all weird and apprehensive, it was like, they would
Or
be,
even very excited and all over them.
that would make also. But
Over enthusiastic is not good either for them,
that
right?
yes, that makes perfect sense. I wouldn't think they react well. I get the feeling like, they just want you to be just chill, like they are. Just, you want to meet their energy.
Right.
And if you do meet an excited horse, I think, don't act excited. Take it down.
Right.
Is that true?
Yeah. So the dynamics of the whole session shifts when you don't have the whole herd. Meaning, if we were to take those other horses and put them in the arena and not have the alphas, because the alphas are kind of giving them instructions behind the scenes, telling them what to do. Just like when I said to you, I asked the horses to be present.
Yes.
Okay, so I already set the tone of the day. This is what's going to happen. And horses think in pictures. That's why autistic kids and horses get along beautifully.
Oh, that's so interesting. I think I've heard that. I don't know where, but that sounds familiar.
There's absolutely no problem. Horses and autistic people completely see eye to eye. It's not an issue.
That is so interesting.
So because I already projected what was going to happen and you were going to come, they kind of helped, because they show up and help me. But if we were to take those other horses and move into the arena and you didn't have them, there's a whole nother layer removed. So they are going to be different, you see.
Yep.
These are not my therapy team. These horses are my horses.
These are your horses.
And I ride this horse, and my daughter rides this horse, and I ride the bay horse. So occasionally I use them, but it's hard for me to use them because he's so in tune with helping me that he has a hard time helping the client, because he's really doing it for me. So it's not really authentic. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
I purposely try to not have as intimate relationship with the other horses as I do with these. These are my personal horses that I ride. No one
Okay.
rides that horse but me.
Okay.
No one rides my daughter's horse but her.
Right.
I do have other horses I let people ride, but not these.
Okay. Interesting.
So the dynamic shift is the
sure.
point.
Sure.
Because this is their barn. They tell those other horses what to do part of the time, not totally, but you'll see the dynamic shift once we take them away and they get to have, and they're still in eye distance, so they'll be calling to each other. There'll be conversations going on. So that's why it's different when I actually put them on a trailer and take them to the facility, because then they're out of ear range and they can truly
makes
be themselves, those horses, and do their job without
Yep.
the influence of their bosses. Well, where else does that happen? Where are you out of? Like right now, you're out of sight, but you still have to report back. You know, when you get back, you're going to have to report back on this, right?
Yeah.
But you have certain freedoms to go off and do your thing.
Right.
Just like these horses go off and do their therapy work, and then they come back to the herd, and
Right.
they have to report it. Well, how did that go today? You think they don't talk
And
about?
they're going to see the video.
Right.
Everybody's going to see. So they're, you know, even though I'm out of their range right now, they're going to see this and go, okay.
Right.
You know,
Well, I wonder how much the horses talk about what went down. What did you do? What did the kid do?
I'm sure they
Right?
do. They probably convey the images back and forth. Sure.
If you believe in all that.
Oh, I absolutely do. I
Yeah.
know that. I mean, I'm an animal lover. I know animals communicate very,
Right.
very specifically, and I think they obviously do communicate more in images.
Yeah.
And you know, sure, sounds and body language and all that, but to really get something specific across.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you have an intimate relationship, a very deep relationship with an animal, you know how to communicate with them.
Right. Well, this horse is now going to be 14. I've had him since he was 1. And this horse I've had since she was 7 months old. And she's now 8. So I've had them basically most of their
Right,
lives.
so-
And the other mare in there I've had since she was 1. And she's about the same age as her. She's like 7. She's a little bit younger than her. The other horses had lives before they came to me. They had issues. They had,
Right.
situations. That's why they're very good therapy horses, because, a lot of these kids and people have been through trauma. Well, they know trauma,
Yes, yes.
right? They know all about trauma.
They relate. They understand. They sense it.
Yep.
It's great.
All right. That's
Thank
a wrap.
you. That's a wrap. That's great, Kathy. Thank you.